Hello. Welcome to Knox Makers Tuesday. This is, we like to start off every Tuesday with a show and share where we show off projects we've started and or finished or failed. And so this week we got a couple nice shares. We're going to start off with Chuck showing off a wall desk.
Well, I had it. Pushed the wrong one. Sorry about that. There it goes. No. No, I think I hit this one. There we go. Nope. I don't know what happened. Maybe this one. Anyway, my wife wanted some kind of a wall desk for her laptop or her new Office Pro. And so I've seen a few of these little wall-mounted ones. Didn't want to take up any space. We already have a desk somewhere else in the house, so thought we would try. So I took basically a couple drawers and put a frame around it. I'm not sure if that's showing right now or not. Too many of the same one here. So there's how it wound up. Some walnut trim on it. And then somewhere here is the finished one. Yes, here we go. You can see there. That's pretty much it.
It folds down?
Yes, just folds back up into itself. So it doesn't take up any space. Looks like that when it's folded up. That's it, just walnut pieces. The boards I got out at Jeffrey's, 1 inch thick, so I had to cut some of those down. That veneer across the front needed to be much thinner than 1 inch, obviously. Planed that down, cut it, and shaped it up, put some finish on it, and that's it. So that was my project for July, so running behind.
I have a question. What is the hinge part?
You see the face there, all comes down, right there. And you see that shiny piece across the back there, that's the hinge. So it just folds down, touches the wall on the back with some cushioning, and a couple of drawers. And then there's about a 1 inch space between the drawers and the working surface for storage of her Surface Pro.
Fold it up, does everything run to the back of the drawer?
Well, it does, but there's a cover over the top of the drawer so it stays in the drawer, whatever's in there, yes.
Good question. Thank you.
All right, next up is Andrew, who's going to show us a laser cut lamp.
Yay, lasers.
This is going to work, I assure you. No, it's going to work, really it is. Whatever, I'll be right there. Hey guys, so I took Tracy's Inkscape for laser class. When was that? 2 weeks ago, something like that. It's a real good class. If there's another opportunity for it, I suggest you guys take it. One of the things that we talked about in that class was using the living hinge generation tool in order to create these living hinges. So for those unfamiliar, this is just a flat piece of 3mm plywood that you can relieve cut using the laser. This is generated via that plugin, and it allows you to take that and bend bend the wood into interesting shapes, so you can adjust it accordingly. The default setting for that cuts like a very, very narrow relief. Like the kerf is about it might even be just a single line even. But there is a setting in there that allows you to adjust the element height, which is not the word I would have expected to do what it does. But what the element height is it's the space between, the space occupied by each of these little squares that are cut out here. If you get in really, really tight, you can see there's like little rectangles, like long rectangles, chopped out of every other section there, and that's what the relief is. So that element height allows a little bit of opening so that this light can shine through. This is kind of just like a little prototype. I just wanted to try a few things with it. There's another piece that I threw away that was like 4 or 5 different living hinge types, just to see like what bent and how and what could transfer light through it and what couldn't. So that solves that. On the inside, I went ahead and on one side just glued some paper. Let me go a little bit wider here, sorry. I just glued some paper in there just as a filter. There's LEDs on the bottom of this that are like very sharp. You know, they have like a very short, a very precise like field of view. So I wanted to diffuse it somewhere. So I used paper on this side, and I was like, that's a little heavy. And I was like, ideally I'd have like frosted Mylar or vellum or something, but I didn't have that available. I was here like at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So instead I grabbed a Walmart bag and just hot glued it to there, and it actually works surprisingly well also. So it does look a little cheap and crappy though, but anyway, that's it. So the LEDs are just like a super generic light strip that you can buy for, I don't know, pennies at Walmart to decorate stuff with, and it runs off of a USB power source. Any questions? Do we do?
Do you have plans for like a top on it, or?
Yeah, so this is just like a prototype I wanted to do. My plan is to make like a 5-foot tall one of these, basically as big as the laser can do, maybe a little bit narrower, so not quite as big a sides, and then put like either a block of some sort on the bottom, whether it's router cut or laser cut, I'm not sure yet, and then maybe another one on top just to keep the shape at how it is. But and I'd probably just light it with like a single light bulb down below, maybe even like a flood. So it's not like crazy, bright out of any one particular area, but enough to kind of light up a whole, you know, like a 5-foot tall tower is going to be going to need quite a bit of light coming out of it. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll see if I get around to it or not, but yeah.
Did that sharp curve there, I mean, did you bend it that sharp without any trouble?
Yeah, I mean, this actually, originally, I mean, everything is, it should in theory be square, right? Like, or equidistant on all sides. But when I was doing the glue up, which I edge glued, I suppose I ought to show that as well. I went ahead and edge glued here so that there wasn't an overlapping seam. And when I did that, I kind of jigged everything down, and that caused it to squish. And so it sat there for, 45 minutes or whatever in an orientation that wasn't square, and it stayed that way. And I looked at it and went, that's probably better anyway. And so, but yeah, so these, I mean, you can really get tight with these corners. The amount of relief that you're like, there's a lot of material removed from these as a result. So,
You give lessons?
talk to Tracy about it, not me.
Very nice, very nice. All right, that's all the shares that I have on the list. Anybody, did I miss anybody? Yep, come on up.
I have what Tracy calls my fancy briefcase with me. It tricks everybody. You think I brought you supper, but I didn't. Maybe sometime I will. We'll see. But Andrew is, he's moving in on my lamping here, so I'm going to have to step it up a notch. But I just knocked this one out. I get frustrated because it takes me so long to make something. And I was determined this week that in the span of a day, I was going to make something. So I went into my pile of treasures that Rosemary calls junk. I don't understand why she says that. And pulled out some of my treasures and came up with this little guy. Basically just a vase, a cage, and a chrome-topped lamp or light bulb. And it's just, it just sits in there. Because it fits so perfectly, I just left it loose. So I don't know if I'll do anything else to it or not. Maybe. Thought about filling it with liquid, but thought that may not be a good idea. So I passed on that. The only thing I lack is a switch. I didn't put a switch on it, so I'll put an inline dimmer switch on it. And that is my one-day endeavor for making a light.
Nice. Is that just a flower vase?
Yeah, it's just a regular, just a plain old flower vase.
Can you put it under the camera?
Oh, sure. Okay, there's from the top. Here's from the side. I don't know if lighting it up will make a difference or not. Yeah, that's a little bright. But you can see it's got the chrome top so it doesn't blind you when you turn it on. And to replace the bulb, you just pull it up a little bit, take the cage off, put the new bulb in, and then it just sits right down in there. So I met my goal, made a lamp in a day instead of work on one for a week, put it aside, pull it out again, work on it another week. So I'm going to try to do that so I'll get more stuff for Christmas. So there you have it. But Andrew beat me tonight. We can't have that anymore.
All right, anybody else? Going once, going twice? All right. We have a laser auth class coming up on the 11th at 10 a.m. That's required to use the laser if you haven't taken it before. And then other than that, I need a volunteer to empty the trash tonight. Anybody? Anybody? Got it right here. All right. That's all the announcements I have. That's all the shares that we have for tonight. So thank you all very much, and let's go have fun in the workshop. Also, if you are new, are y'all new? Then you can see me or anybody with a red name badge. We'll give you a tour, answer any questions you have. If anybody else as well, just see us. And that's it.